Hello there, and as always, a very, very warm welcome to this week's France Buying Guys YouTube presentation. Well, as you know, the notorious Mr. Fix-It and I are still busy renovating our large house down here in the Languedoc-Roussillon, and this is something that Brits have been doing for quite a while and still are tempted to do. Come to France and buy perhaps a rundown property or one that just needs a little bit of work and putting their back and heart and soul into it. After all, it is still entirely possible to pick up very decent properties, often with outer buildings, for way, way less than you can in the UK. And it's really something that us Brits are quite good at. Part of the reason that there are so many properties needing renovation here is that the French generally aren't too keen on being with a TLC into a property. They tend to leave that to us. And the DIY principle is less known in France than it is in England, although it's becoming more popular. Until probably about 10 years ago, the DIY shops were just frequented by tradesmen and artisans and not just, people doing the work themselves. But this is definitely changing. Even since we've been here in a year, we see more and more shops crop up and they're getting busier too. So this can only be a good thing if you are thinking of doing the same as we have done, buying a place and doing it up. I've got a few tips for you here this week, but you'll find a whole lot more in my France buying guide, a copy of which you can buy on this website. You'll see how to get your own copy just below me. The first tip is to remember that things aren't necessarily going to be the same in France as in the UK. Some materials aren't so easy to come by, and some are just, well, different really. For example, lining paper for walls isn't generally used in France. More of a fibrous mesh liner is used, which creates a more textured surface. For a flat surface, you're best off plastering or using plasterboard. If you're getting your house done by a French plasterer as well, that may be an issue. We have found they don't do it in the same way that we do. Because French houses notoriously are wallpaper, they don't tend to have such a smooth finish. So if you are looking for a smooth finish, you need to make it very clear and perhaps show them how it's done. Again, the materials do differ slightly. Also, when it comes to rendering the outside of French buildings, this is done with a lime base mixed with sand. Cement render is used, but doesn't have the pliability of lime render, which gives with the fluctuating weather conditions in quite a few areas. And in some places, the colour can be controlled, so you need to check that with your Mary before you apply render that you may have to take off again if it's not quite the right colour. Same with the shutters, always check with your Mary. Electricity, well, the UK ring main system isn't used here, and many French houses you'll find don't perhaps have enough power. For example, if you put the kettle on as well as the dishwasher or your hairdryer, you might find that it trips. That's because it's underpowered. There are three options in your electricity contract, and you might have to up that. But again, similarly to England, you can get a contract with one of the few companies online and set up a direct debit. It's not difficult. Also, when it comes to doing electricity, if you're man enough and able enough to do it yourself, you can. It needs to be overseen by a French electrician who's qualified, and you need to apply the rules, obviously, and know what they are from a French electrician. But you can actually rewire it yourself under the auspices of a qualified French electrician. Paint is something of an issue here. It's really expensive, and people do tend to, or us Brits anyway, tend to think something is not actually such good quality. But you have to remember that French products have obviously been made to deal with different conditions. For example, a lot of French homes have tended to be quite poorly heated and insulated, and don't have cavity walls that can cause humidity problems. As many of the plaster finishes in France also are based on lime, you should first apply an undercoat, that's called a sous-couche undercoat, to prevent your paint being literally sucked up by the wall. You can get undercoats here, and some people bring their own paint from England. There are a few companies here now which will supply British paints in France, so it's not as bad as it used to be, but you will find it more expensive. When it comes to DIY shops, there are plenty of big names, usually on the outskirts of towns and cities, such as Castorama, Bricorama, Bricomarché, Brico Dépôt, that's all B-R-I-C-O by the way. Shop called Beldom, W-E-L-D-O-M, is pretty much all over France, and Prime P. You will find your own in whatever region you're in. Castorama and also its sister shop, Conforama, which sells white appliances and furniture and stuff, actually has links, I believe, to B&Q, so you might even find some British products in those and bigger ones. Builders, well, obviously, if you have a UK builder, you're going to understand him better. Um, but on the other hand, a French builder will have a better knowledge of local materials and methods. We've here done pretty much both. We've had a French builder to do our main knocking down the supporting wall in our kitchen and to take down the rather unsightly tower we had. But we've actually got a friend of ours, Trevor, here with us this week, who's flown out from the UK, who's helping Miss Fix It prepare the kitchen floor. Builders here tend to work a 39-hour week, and we've had a very good experience, but it's like anywhere, you have to get one that's recommended by a local. That's your best bet, someone who lives locally too. I think in general, when it comes to renovating property in France, there are two important things to remember. Firstly, Rome wasn't built in a day. You just have to go with it. It's not going to take forever. On the other hand, it probably will take way longer than you think it's going to at the beginning. The second thing is that you have to go with the system. Things are done differently here. Not everything, but some things are. Products are different. It may be a little bit harder to get hold of things easily and near to you, and you might have to travel quite a way to get them. That's the other thing. But once you accept all that, it's a great thing to do. Even when you think that you're living through brick dust for months on end, you can still have a good time doing it. The sun's shining still here. We're really quite enjoying our renovation project. So that's it for this week. Do keep your emails coming in, and if there's a topic you'd like me to talk about here, let me know. If you have a specific question or anything, also let me know. I'll be very happy to answer it for you. I hope you're looking forward to spring. We are hoping that it's going to stay something like this. I think it probably will now, even though it's still early March. The clocks go back in about 2 or 3 weeks, I believe. So things are looking up. So I will wish you good health, bonne santé, and until next week. Bye bye.